Good morning, doctor. My name is Chao Yashan. Number matric is S72120. Today I want to present my individual assignment by using the software which is Microsoft Access Database. First, we need to key in the data into the Microsoft Access. Before keying the data, we need to create 4 tables for different items. First, go to the create table. The first table is customer. Then go to create again the table. The second one is inventory. The third one is sales. And the last one is sales inventory. So now we need to complete their informations. First, go to the customer table and choose the design view. The first one is customer ID. The data type is short text. The next one is customer name. The short text also. And the third one is city. Stick. Then the last one is credit limit, but change to the currency. So now choose again this datasheet view and save the data. So now you can see the all item is at here already. So continue to the inventory table and choose the design view. The first one is item ID. Then short text also. The next one is descriptions, short text. Then standard cost for currency, and the list price also put a currency. The last one is quantity on hand. Then choose for number. Go to design view, go to datasheet view and save the data. So now at here already. Continue to sales table. The first one is invoice. Choose for short text. Then the sale date for date and time. Next is the salesperson. Short text also. Then customer ID. Short text. Amount is under the currency. Go to datasheet view. Then save the data. Then also at here already. And go to the sales inventory table. The first column is invoice also. And data short text. Then item ID. Quantity is under the number. And the last one, sales price, is under the currency. So after complete to create the table, you can now start to key in all the data. Before we write the query to answer the questions, we can go to the database tools first and choose the relationship. Add all the table here. Then now we need to create the relationship between the same item at this table. For example, the customer ID and customer ID. Then create the invoice and invoice. Create. And the item ID and item ID. And then arrange it. So now we can see there are 3 lines of relationship here, as this relationship can help to combine the data easily for analyze. So now we go back to see the questions. The question A, for which item are there at least 100 units in quantity on hand? So from the question we know that we need to find the item and the quantity on hand. So now we close it first and save it. Then open the table, see which table have the item and the quantity on hand. So from the customer table, don't have. The inventory table have the item ID and the quantity on hand. Sales table and the sales inventory table. Then now we go to the create and the query design and choose the inventory table. Now we can add the item ID, descriptions, and the quantity on hand. So because of the questions need which item at least 100 units, so we can write here the criteria more than equal 100. So after doing this, we can go to run. So now we can see these are the item and its descriptions which shows have at least 100 units. So now we save and put the query A. So now we can continue to the query B. What will the item numbers, price and quantity of each item sold on invoice number 103? So from these questions we know that the questions need item numbers, price, quantity on invoice number 103 only. So just like that, find which table has all these requirements. First, customer table, inventory table, sales table, and the last one, sales inventory. So from this table, we can see that this table have invoice, item ID, quantity, and the price. So go to create, query design, choose the sales inventory table, then add invoice, item ID, quantity, and the sales price. Because of the questions only needs the invoice number 103, so we can put here criteria 103. Because of the questions only needs the invoice number 103, so actually we don't need to show this column, so we can untick here and go to run. So now we can see here only show up the item ID and the quantity sales price on invoice number 103. So save it. Query B. So now we can close it first and back to our query C. Which customer make purchase from Martinez? Provide customer name and salespersons, and shows the customer name only once even if they purchase from Martinez multiple times. So now we need to find which table got the customer name and the salesperson. First is the customer table. So the customer name are at the customer table. Inventory, sales. The salesperson are at the sales table. Sales inventory. So for this query, we need 2 tables which are customer and sales. Now go to create, query design, add the customer and the sales. Because of before that we already create the relationship, so now we can see a line here. Then add the customer name and the salesperson. Because of the question only needs the salesperson Martinez, so we can write it here at the criteria Martinez. And the question also requires show the customer name only once. So how we do it? Find the totals. So we can see that the customer name and the salesperson has already grouped by. Then run it. So now we can see the column of salespersons are all is the Martinez, and the customer name also has once only. So now save. Query C. Then close it. For query D, the question needs invoice, sales date, salespersons, customer names, amount. For invoice whose amount is more than 1,500, and sort the amount from largest to smallest. So for this query, we also need the customer table and the sales table. Go to create, query design, choose the customer and the sales table, add the invoice, sales date, salesperson, customer name, and the amount. Because of the question only needs the invoice whose amount is more than 1,500, so we can write it here at the criteria, more than 1,500, and sort the amount from largest to smallest. So at here sort amount, we can choose the descending. After that, run. So these are the invoice, sales date, salesperson, customer name, and the amount. So the amount also from largest to smallest. Then save the query for query D. Then close it. Next, the query E. List invoice, item ID, description, sales price, list price, quantity, and compute the extensions for all items sold where the sales price is different than the list price. Sort by item ID in descending order. So find which table got this requirement. The customer don't have. Inventory table has item ID, descriptions, and the list price. The sales and the sales inventory from this table have invoice, item ID, also the quantity and the sales price. So for this query, we also need two tables which are inventory and sales inventory. Go to create query design, choose the inventory and the sales inventory table. We can see it also have a line of relationship at here which match with the same item at different tables. So now add the invoice, item ID, descriptions, sales price, list price, quantity. Then how we do the extensions, we can write it here, extensions, build, sum. From here, choose the table. We need to find the sales price at sales inventory, sales price. And the next one is quantity. Then okay. So the formula is like that. So next one is show the sales price is different than the list price. So go to sales price. Sales price type not equal to list price. Choose the total, group by. For the extension, we need to change the group by to expressions. And the last one, sort by item ID in descending order. So go to item ID, stop, choose the descending. So after doing all, run. So here has all invoice, item ID, description, sales price, list price, quantity, and the extensions. Result. Like that. After that, save it for query E. Then close it. Query F. Compute the profit margin for each item sold. Calculate the profit margin as like that. List invoice, sales date, item ID, sales price, quantity, and compute the profit margin. Sort by profit margin in descending order. So now we find the table which got this requirement first. The first is customer table, don't have. The inventory table got item ID, standard cost. Sales table got invoice, sales date, and the sales inventory got invoice, item ID, quantity, and the sales price. So for this query F, we need three tables which are inventory, sales, and sales inventory. Go to create query design, choose inventory, sales, and sales inventory. Then arrange the table. So that we can see the line of relationship clearly. Now add invoice, sales date, item ID, sales price, quantity. For profit margin, we can write it here. Build, sum. Choose from here, table, sales price at sales inventory, minus the standard cost at inventory table, then sales price at sales inventory, then OK, so that the formula is like that. Next, sort by the profit margin in descending order. So sort here we can choose descending, and the last step is total, and remember to choose the group by at profit margin here to expressions. Then run it. So we can see the profit margin is from the largest to the smallest. After doing this, save. Query F. Then close it. Query G. Compute the profit for each line of the invoice. Calculate the profit as sales price minus standard cost, and here list invoice, sales date, item ID, sales price, quantity, and compute profit. Sort by invoice in ascending, then profit in descending order. So from this question, actually, the requirement almost same like the query F. So from here, we know that for the query G, we also need three tables which are inventory, sales, and sales inventory. Go to create, query design, choose the inventory, sales, and sales inventory table, then arrange them. Then add the invoice, sales date, item ID, sales price, quantity. For the profit, we can write it here. Build, sum, choose from here, table. The sales price is at the sales inventory table, then minus the standard cost at inventory table, then the quantity at sales inventory. Okay, so the formula is like that. After that, total, then remember to choose the expressions for the profit column. After that, sort by invoice in ascending, then profit in descending order. So sort here, we can choose the descending for profit, and the invoice, we can choose ascending. After finish it, run. So now we can see the invoice are arranged from the smallest to largest, and the profit from largest to smaller based on their invoice. For example, 101 from largest to smallest, and the 103 from the largest to the smallest. Then save, query Q. Then close it. Now the query H. How many sales transactions were made in October? Name your output column none of sales. So from the questions, we know that the question needs sales transaction in October. The sales transaction actually is almost like invoice, and the October like the sales date. So we know that for this query H, we need the sales table only, which got the sales date and the invoice. Go to create, query design, and choose the sales table. Add the sales date. Because the questions need October, so we can write a criteria here between 1st October and 31st October. And then here, the question require name your output column none of sales. So we write it here, follow the questions, none of sales invoice. After that, total, because we only need the total sales transactions got how many, so here we need to change to count. And for the sales date, we also need to change to where. So after correct it, go to run. So the total sales transaction made in October is only 7. After that, save for query H. Okay. Then close it. So now we can continue with the query I. How many customers live in Arizona? List the state and count of customer. So from this question, we know that the table we need for the query I is only the customer table. This is because the question has already stated that the customer and the Arizona actually refer to the state for the short form of AZ. So now go to create and query design, choose the customer table, add the state and the criteria here. We can follow the question, choose the AZ, then here write count of customer, then customer ID, then don't forget to total. For the column of count of customer, we need to change to count, same like just now we do the query hash, because we just want to know how many the total of customer live in Arizona. So after that, run. So here we see that the customer live in Arizona is only 3%. So now save the query I. After close the query I, we can continue see the query J, how many customers live in each state, list the state and count of customer, sort the list alphabetically by state. So same like the query I, we just need to use the customer table. So create query design and choose the customer table, add the state, and here we can write count of customer, same like the requirement in the questions, then customer ID. This is because got how many customer means got how many customer ID. So later that, total it. Here is group by, but the column of count of customer we need to change to count. After that, sort the list alphabetically by state actually means from A to Z. From sort here, we can choose ascending. After that, run. So for each state, we can see got how many customer here. After that, save query J. Then close it. Next, the query K. How much did each salesperson sell based on sales amount, list salesperson and total amount, sort from largest total amount to smallest. So actually from this question, we can know the requirement of this query is salesperson and the total amount. The salesperson is in the sales table here, salespersons, and the total amount is also at here amount. So we only need to use one table, which is sales table for this query. Go to create query design, choose the sales table, and add the salesperson. Here we can write the total amount. Then sort from largest total amount to smallest, which refer to the descending. After that, total it, but change the group by to the sum for the total amount column, because the questions require total. After that, run. So we can see each salesperson and their total amount sold. After that, save query K. Then close it. The last query L, how many units of each item was sold, list item ID, description and total sold, sort from total sold in ascending order. So from these questions, we know that the requirement is item ID, descriptions and total sold. The item ID and descriptions are in the inventory table, item ID and the descriptions. But the total sold, which refer to the quantity sold, is in the sales inventory here. So we need two tables for this query. Go to create query design, choose the inventory and the sales inventory table. Then add the item ID, descriptions, and the total sold is referred to the quantity. But here we need to change the name to total sold quantity. Sort from total sold in ascending order. Ascending. And the last step is total it. but change here to sum for the total sort column because the questions need total sort. Then run. So now we can see this is the units at here for each item sold. Then save to query L. Close it. And close all the table.
Thank you.